Hello and welcome to the 2014 NAB AFL Rising Star Award. Once again, the best young talent from around the country have gathered here in Melbourne. But which of the 23 hotshots will take home this prestigious award? Will it be one of the top draft picks from last year's national draft? Perhaps an elevated rookie, or even someone with established football pedigree? It certainly promises to be a close thing, so let's find out.
There's a point in every young player's career when things change. It could happen for any number of reasons. Some timely advice from a parent. Realisation it's time to knuckle down. A rev from the coach. Or even an injury. It happens to them all. They might not realise it at the time, but it's a turning point. A time to get fitter.
Cunningham again, same spot.
Oh. Beautiful tap down from White. Little left foot, Mitchell. They're within a point.
Play smarter.
Langdon's been good.
Oh, brilliant tackle.
Kolodjashnij.
Fulfill potential.
Bontempelli found a way out. That is an unbelievable effort.
Be their best.
And Josh Kelly shows his class.
He's done it again. And that was just magnificent the way he did that. Patton just stands and grabs.
Stringer, he's hard to tackle, this guy. Oh, he's kicked another one.
It's happened to all these young men. And tonight, one of them will be rewarded for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the 2014 NAB AFL Rising Star nominees. We acknowledge round 15 nominee Harry Cunningham and round 21 nominee Jake Lloyd, both from the Sydney Swans, and round 22 nominee Matt Taberner, unable to join us today, of course, with their training commitments ahead of the finals. Round 18 nominee Jonathan Patton from GWS was disappointed not to be able to join us after suffering a serious injury, but he has sent us this brief message.
Sorry guys couldn't be there today. It was something that I was looking forward to. All the best to whoever wins, and I can't wait to get back out there and start my rehab and start training and then playing against all you guys next year.
Well, one of the highlights of the NAB AFL Rising Star each year is to meet some of our nominees and to find out a little bit more about their journeys. And to help us do that once again this year, we have with us Western Bulldogs Games record holder, superstar of course from the Dogs, part of the Fox footy team, Brad Johnson, and ex-Hawthorn star and now the hard-nosed assistant coach on the recruit, Ben Dixon. Welcome guys.
Thank you very much, Kade. Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic afternoon, and Dicko, we really look forward to seeing who will take out the award this afternoon.
No doubt. The boys have had consistent years, but I think it's going to be closer than in recent years, so this will come down to the wire for sure.
Now, Hutto, I am a little bit nervous. You mentioned the hard-nosed man from the recruit here, the assistant coach, can deliver one almighty spray, so nominees, look out if he does come your way this afternoon.
Simple, Jono. Play your role and you avoid a knee in the throat. Back to you, Hutto.
Thank you, guys. Well, speaking of the nominees, let's have a look at the first group of nominees today. Veteran Saint Nick Riewoldt was at his best in round one, but a young man on debut also started the year in outstanding form.
And Dunstan doesn't let him down.
Luke Dunstan picked up an impressive 21 disposals and laid 7 tackles in the club's 17-point win over the Demons to take out the round 1 NAB AFL Rising Star nomination. Dunstan was St Kilda's second pick in last year's NAB AFL draft, 18th overall, and is the Saints' first Rising Star since round 15, 2012. On a disappointing night for Carlton at the G, Dylan Buckley showed his older teammates how to use the ball.
Back to Buckley.
With 18 disposals coming at a 94% efficiency rate. Buckley had originally been selected as an emergency, but ended up the NAB AFL Rising Star nomination for round 2. The Carlton faithful can only hope that Dylan shares as much success as his father Jim in the halcyon days of the 80s.
And Josh Kelly shows his class.
The future looks bright at GWS. Josh Kelly became the 12th player in the club's short history to be nominated for the NAB AFL Rising Star. Kelly picked up 17 disposals, including 7 contested possessions, in only his second game in wet conditions at Spotless Stadium. The son of Sandover medalist Phil Kelly, the number 2 NAB AFL draft pick, finished off the day nicely with a pair of classy final quarter goals in the Giants' 32-point victory over the Demons. Pedigree continued to shine through, with father-son draftee Luke McDonald taking out the round 4 NAB AFL Rising Star nomination. In an assured defensive performance, the 19-year-old collected 20 touches. 7 of his possessions were contested and took 5 marks in trying conditions. It was a day to remember for North Melbourne, beating Sydney at the SCG for the first time since 2004. Matt Crouch has always been a prolific ball winner, averaging 37 possessions a game in last year's TAC Cup. And it didn't take him long to bring that form into the big time, collecting 28 touches up to three-quarter time in only his 3rd game, earning him the round 5 NAB AFL Rising Star nomination. The in and under ball magnet joined brother Brad at the Crows via the NAB AFL draft, where he was selection 23. Round 6 saw the AFL cross the ditch to New Zealand for the clash between St Kilda and Brisbane. But it was a young man from Adelaide who helped the Lions notch their first win of the season.
That's really good play from Aish.
James Aish collected 25 possessions, 12 were contested, to be named the Round 6 NAB AFL Rising Star nominee. The classy nephew of SANFL legend Michael Aish was picked 7 in last year's NAB AFL draft.
James Aish, quality young player.
He is just growing before our very eyes.
Might introduce you to James, number 4 for the Brisbane Lions. Let's give him a hand, James Aish.
Football's been a part of my life for as long as I can remember, really. Ever since I could walk, I probably had a football around the house. Through football, I've just learned some leadership and respect, just communication, and that's sort of helped hold me in good stead for the future. I've always had a little bit of a passion for the multicultural side of things. Perfect. I went on a school trip to Vanuatu when I was younger, and it's just something I really enjoyed doing, and I had a lot of fun. I contacted a few people at AFLQ. They just gave me support for any ideas I wanted to do, and I did a bit of research into it and found Milpera High School. How are you? Yeah, I'm well. First off, I just took them for a little tour around the facilities. And then I was able to bring them up on the oval and just hold a little clinic. We did a bit of handballing, a little bit of kicking. We set up some goals and let them have a few shots. And they did really well. They had a lot of fun, so it was good. Good work. These kids have had a completely different upbringing to me. And they've obviously had to move to Australia at different ages. And with that, it's probably brought different challenges to each of them. And they've had to come over and learn a new language and make new friends. Beautiful.
My name is Ahmed. I'm 13 years old. I come from Iraq. I came to USA 4 years ago. I came to Australia by boat. The first time I saw Australian football playing in Darwin. I like AFL. My parents think that football is a crazy game. Yeah, crazy. My favorite part is kicking goals.
Teaching football to, I guess, multicultural kids it was something important to me, just because I think it gives them a great avenue to integrate into the society. I think also if AFL can give them something to look up to or an interest, it can only be a good thing.
One day I would like to play on this ground.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, the All-Australian selectors, along with the AFL National Talent Manager Kevin Sheehan, have been given the difficult job of awarding 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 votes to the 5 players they believe are most deserving of the NAB AFL Rising Star Award. And we are going to gradually reveal their votes throughout the afternoon as we count down to find out who indeed will be the winner. We're going to start with the votes from AFL Football Operations General Manager Mark Evans and Cats Premiership skipper Cameron Ling. And as you can see, already a host of different names getting votes. Lewis Taylor with the 5 from Mark Evans, Bontempelli, Aish, Dunstan and Cunningham with the 1 vote. And from Cameron Ling, James Aish, the man we've just seen, along with Luke McDonald, Tom Langdon, Marcus Bontempelli and Luke Dunstan. So at this very early stage, our NAB AFL Rising Star leaderboard has James Aish on top with 8 votes from Marcus Bontempelli, Lewis Taylor and Luke McDonald. It's going to be a pretty close count from what we've seen so far. Jono, over to you.
Thank you, Hutto. Yes, on the couch up here, and we do have a great young player. Where's number 22 for the GWS Giants and does all his great work in the midfield, Josh Kelly. His father, Phil, please make him welcome.
Thanks very much, Jono.
Josh, I'll start with yourself. Just first up, how have you found life in the AFL?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a big step up, but I've loved every moment of it. I mean, I've been waiting for this my whole life to be on an AFL list, so I've loved my first year.
You've stepped up from under-18 footy. What have been the biggest challenges stepping from that under-18 footy TAC Cup level into the elite AFL environment?
I think just the day-to-day rigours of AFL. It's, juniors, you're training 3 nights a week and playing on the weekend, whereas AFL, it's every day you're at the club. You come in on your day off, do a bit extra, and so I think it's just learning to deal with that, learning to get your body up day after day.
What was the biggest turning point for yourself as a junior then? What was the time when you really thought seriously about, I'm going to take on and the challenge of being an AFL footballer?
I think for me, it was just always something I just planned to do. It was never really a moment that I said I wanted to be an AFL footballer. I had Dad who played AFL, and just right throughout I tried out for every rep team there was, and I think it's just something that, just was always there.
You mentioned your dad, handy player, 2-time Sandover medalist and 61 games for North Melbourne. Phil, what type of player were yourself? Were you similar to the way that Josh goes about his footy?
Well, I played midfield, and I like to cover the ground the same way that Josh does. But I think we were different builds. I was a bit heavier build than what Josh is, and certainly his running is more elite than I ever was, and his skills were and still are far better than I was. I was absolutely left foot, left foot, and that was all I had. And Josh, I taught Josh from a young age to kick both feet, so his skills are far better than I am. And he just, in my view, is a far better footballer than I ever was.
Must be pleasing though. And how much time do you actually get? Do you get to see him live every week? Do you travel to watch him play, or do you sit back at home when he's playing up at Sydney?
Look, we didn't quite know how that would pan out, but as it turned out, we went to every game. So we followed him across to Perth twice, and to Adelaide and Brisbane and Canberra. So we were on the road. We thought when he first got drafted that he'd have half of his games in Melbourne. That was badly mistaken. He had 6 games in Melbourne. So the rest of the time we were travelling, and we went to every game.
You're a big part of shaping Josh as a player and a person growing up, but who else had an impact on your son?
Look, I think he, through his junior career, he had some influential people. He had teachers that he was certainly educated by. And I don't think, Josh could answer this better than I could, but I don't think there's one person that stood out, but there was a whole range of people that were, that provided really excellent advice and support. So it was built on over the years, I think, and he, as you said, he was always keen on the idea of making senior footy, and there's a whole lot of people around him that helped him do that.
Well, it's time now to catch up with Ben Dixon. He's at ground level with the GWS recruiting manager, Steve Silvani.
Thanks, Jono. Sauce, firstly, Josh, we know he's a beauty, but how does he compare with some of the draftees you've had in recent years?
Well, I think he's equivalent. I mean, just watching his year this year, how he competes, covers the ground, and as his father Phil said, highly skillful. So we're hoping that he'll play a long time at GWS Giants.
And the growth of the Giants, 6 wins this year, 8 to 10 hopefully next year. Active in the off-season?
Look, a lot will probably depend on trade week in terms of, a couple of players may look at wanting to move clubs, so that'll be probably determined on that situation. But we're looking to improve our list, as every club is, so there should be a little bit of action.
And when recruiting, we know skill factor, X factor is important, but how big's character when you're drafting these young boys?
Look, I think it plays an important part. I mean, talent's one thing, but they've got to want to do the work, and pretty much you see these guys here today, they've all got that work ethic. They want to succeed, so it's an important component.
Thanks for your time, Sauce. Back to you, Jono.
Thanks, Dicko. And Josh, first win. It was against Melbourne for yourself. You were able to sing the song. You knew the words, of course.
Yeah, I knew the words.
What about the Gatorade shower afterwards? How'd you handle that?
Yeah,
See here.
Going into it, I'd always seen people rubbing their eyes, and initially I just thought it's to get the Gatorade out of your eyes, but it actually really stings and hurts. So I'm not sure if many people know that, but it's pretty unpleasant.
It's a good way to start the hydration process after the game. Good as well that you've been able to just send me through an email during the week to stitch up your dad. You sent through this playing card of Phil from many years ago when he represented the Kangaroos. Have you ever thought of maybe growing the moustache yourself?
If I could, I would. I reckon I'd give it a shot, but no, that was the look back then, along with the very tight shorts.
No, well, boys, thanks very much, Josh, for joining us. And Phil, ladies and gentlemen, please thank Josh and Phil Kelly.
Keep watching Fox Footy for more from the 2014 NAB AFL Rising Star Award after the break. Welcome back to the 2014 NAB AFL Rising Star Award. Time to meet our next group of nominees, starting with a young defender who could well be a stalwart on the Collingwood backline for years to come.
The stage doesn't get much bigger than the MCG on a Friday night with old foes Collingwood and Carlton. But young Pie Tom Langdon certainly wasn't daunted, gathering 23 disposals, 8 marks and collecting the Round 7 NAB Rising Star nomination. Although he adapted seamlessly to AFL football, it hasn't been all plain sailing for the defender, as he was overlooked in his first draft year before being picked up by Collingwood at selection 65 in 2013.
I reckon he'll be the rising star this weekend, Langdon.
A defender's game can't always be judged purely on his statistics, particularly when matched up against a renowned goal sneak. And that was the case in round 8, when Port Adelaide back pocket Jarman Impey was nominated for the NAB AFL Rising Star for keeping Aidan Ballantyne goalless. Coming at it, Impey with him.
Good pace.
Along the way, the 21st selection from last year's NAB AFL draft picked up 10 touches as Port triumphed by 18 points. North Melbourne gave Brisbane an old-fashioned flogging in round 9, but the one positive to come out of the game for the Lions was the continued good form of Lewis Taylor.
Yeah, he's got some ability, this kid.
Taylor gathered 20 touches, laid 3 tackles and took 8 marks in a performance that earned the 19-year-old the round's NAB AFL Rising Star nomination. Sharing the forward line with Dane Zorko and Josh Green, the trio established themselves as the latest mosquito fleet. Kade Kolodjashnij was finally rewarded for his consistent start to the season, picking up the Round 10 NAB AFL Rising Star nomination.
That's ambitious, did it brilliantly.
Regularly collecting 20-plus possessions a game in his rookie season, the number 5 selection in last year's NAB AFL draft again topped that mark and kicked at 81% efficiency in the Gold Coast's 45-point hiding of the Western Bulldogs. Dream time at the G turned into a nightmare for Richmond, going down by 50 points to Essendon.
Merritt
Zack Merritt was instrumental in the big win for the Bombers, gathering 22 disposals, including 2 classy final term goals, all this with a kicking efficiency of 86% to take out the round 11 NAB AFL Rising Star nomination. The Cobden boy was a gun junior cricketer before committing to footy and getting picked up at number 26 in last year's NAB AFL draft.
This is the talent he's got.
High expectations can be a burden to some in the AFL, but not Essendon father-son selection Joe Danaher. In round 12, the young forward kicked 3 goals, took 9 marks, 6 contested, and it all proved crucial in taking the Bombers to a 15-point win over GWS.
Boy, what a lift for the Bombers in here. Zack Merritt gets it. It's already kicked 1. He's a star.
As a young man, Zack Merritt was a very good footballer, but most wouldn't know he was a pretty handy cricketer too. Lucky for Essendon fans, he chose footy. But let's see if this young man can still wield the willow with a couple of heaters.
I grew up in southwest Victoria in a little country town called Cobden. I was obviously a pretty sporty kid. It was really, at school was always playing sport at recess and lunch. Then after school was always in the backyard kicking the footy or having a hit of cricket.
Run down from behind is Rampy. Well done by Zack Merritt.
I'm Jackson Merritt. Zack is my little brother and I play for the Essendon Bombers.
Yes, Jackson Merritt in front of the pack kicks a goal.
I was playing in the under-14s, under-16s, and I remember Zack played under-16s, I think, when he was 8, and then come out and won the league bowling aggregate when he was 10 in the under-16, so he was quite talented.
Gee, Merritt, that's a clever kick, and that could be a goal.
As I was growing up, I wanted to get every footy jumper I possibly could, so Mum and Dad had to fork out a lot of money, and yeah, I've got a huge collection at home of all different jumpers and a lot of different numbers on the backs. I got offered a cricket scholarship to Melbourne Grab when I was 15. When the scholarship came on offer, I was definitely not holding back to take the offer, so yeah, it was a very special feeling. Mum was probably a bit upset when he left. I remember the first weekend that he'd left, I was playing cricket and I was out in the backyard throwing a few balls at the wickets and Mum came out crying, and because that's what Zack used to do before he left. And term 1 was very stressful at school. I had 4 cricket trainings and 2 days of games, along with 3 nights of training at Sandringham. Wasn't too sure what I wanted to do, and it was obviously a lot harder to play for Australia than it is to play AFL, but yeah, I probably wanted to play cricket at that stage still. I know he messaged me a lot of times, especially in year 12, just managing study, cricket and football, especially in the pre-season time, he found it quite tough. Weighing up the chances of each was pretty tough, but yeah, eventually footy sort of swung my way and I just enjoyed that more in the end.
Zack Merritt on the siren!
Probably had the dream of running out Boxing Day. Yeah, it's still something it'd be amazing to do, but yeah, at the moment, footy's first priority.
You can still hit a ball, my friend, but I tell you, you've done the right thing and stick with footy. Well done. Good luck for the rest of the year.
We're not going to forget Zack, that's for sure.
What a terrific young talent, Zack Merritt. Footy will be very glad that we have him rather than cricket. I don't think Dicko was ever offered a scholarship looking at his bowling, but anyway, we'll move on. It's time to reveal the voting of 3 more judges for this year's NAB AFL Rising Star, and West Coast dual premiership player Glenn Jakovich, premiership skipper from Port Adelaide and Hall of Fame inductee Warren Treadray, and AFLPA MVP award winner Luke Darcy from the Western Bulldogs. Let's have a look at their votes. Well, Glenn Jakovich has gone for Lewis Taylor and James Aish, the 2 Brisbane players, as his top 2 picks. Warren Treadray giving the 5 to Luke McDonald and the 4 to Marcus Bontempelli. Luke Darcy also giving his top votes to Bontempelli and McDonald, but in the reverse order, with Taylor picking up the 3. So let's check the leaderboard now, and as you can see, Marcus Bontempelli is on top with 18 votes from Lewis Taylor, Luke McDonald, and then James Aish. So it's hotting up, Jono.
It certainly is, Hutto. I've got the man of the moment right here as well, Marcus Bontempelli and his dad, Carlo. Marcus, how are you feeling leading at the moment?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, I think. But there's quite a few good players in the room, and I think it's an open race at this point.
Take us through your first season and your first game. You debuted in round 5 versus the Blues, and what are the main things you remember from your first game?
I probably just remember being really, really tired really quickly. So I think I was playing sort of chasey for most of the day, but found that as soon as I got the ball, I was tackled straight away, and that was probably when I came to the realisation that I was playing AFL football. So quite a few things, but the speed and the intensity was definitely something I had to catch up to.
Take us back to your draft year. What was the turning point for yourself in terms of when you really thought, or you really started to dominate through the midfield?
Probably post-nationals, I think. Went back to the Northern Knights, my TAC Cup region, and played a couple of games through the midfield and started to, I guess, find some and build some momentum. So that's where I think it really sort of kicked off for me, really through the midfield, and I sort of just really went from week to week just trying to, I guess, emulate the same stuff and do the same things. So probably about then.
Do you remember your game against Marcelin at all?
Which game was that?
He doesn't want to say everyone. He had 50 disposals and kicked 10 goals. Not a bad turning point in your draft year. But how have you found life at the Western Bulldogs?
Similar to probably what Josh mentioned before, the constant grind. I think that AFL football is, and we had some good advice from Jager on his way out to embrace the grind and embrace this time and really make the most of your opportunity in football at the moment. So for me, it's probably just been getting used to the constant grind that AFL football is, the day-to-day tasks, the constant physical demand that AFL football is, but also the mental side of it. So I'm probably still adjusting to it, and I'll probably still be adjusting to it for the years to come.
Carlo, you must be very proud of what Marcus has achieved in his first season.
Oh yes, very, very proud.
It was described during the last couple of weeks that if he was a car, he would be a red Lamborghini. What sort of car do you actually think, being his dad, do you think Marcus would be?
Well, look, I'm Italian, so Lambos aren't bad, so I'll go with that. But I'd say maybe a Toyota Hilux.
Oh, really? Very good. Look
pretty
at that.
much unbreakable at the moment.
Yes, sensational. What about the family though? Do you get to every game and watch Marcus and cheer him on as much as possible?
Yeah, every game.
Yeah.
Go through anything to get to it, so it's just exciting to go. It's like everybody, they love watching him, but watching your own boy out there play, it's just, yeah.
Marcus, it's time now to get a little bit nervous because we're going down to Ben Dixon and he's with your mum.
He is.
Thanks, Jono. Geraldine, I'm here with the rock of the family, by the way, Jono. It's nervous times every time a mum watches their boy run out. How do you handle him when he runs out on a Saturday?
Well, he makes it easy for me because he's actually not nervous before a game, so that makes it easy for me.
It's also, when recruiters come around to your house, it's a daunting time because you've got to say the right things. Can you tell us about your experience with the Bulldogs when they arrived?
Well, I don't think I said the right thing when I asked Macca, was he the sports psychologist of the team? And he said, no, I'm the coach. And I said, well, of which team? Is it a TAC Cup team? And he said, no, of this team. So there was a lot of laughter after that.
It was a good sign. Who was the Bulldog representative that actually sat on your dog that day?
Simon Dalrymple. He obviously doesn't like dogs. He must be a cat person.
Marcus himself, he's a professional now. You're an outstanding cook. Does he come home and give you orders? This is what I need to eat. The dietitian's told me to do this.
Oh, OK. Well, he had to stay with Ruffy because he didn't have his licence when he first was drafted. So apparently his signature dish is one Ruffy's taught him, which is fish, couscous and potatoes. So he tries to take pride in making that for himself now.
And Marcus himself, he's in the big leagues now, but early in the season he asked you for a loan of $20, is that right?
He did. I was a bit shocked with that. About 3 months into it, he texted me and said, Mum, oh, look at his face. He said, could I have $20 put into my account? And I thought, geez, he's really on a tight budget.
Geraldine, great having a chat with you. Back to you, Jono.
Marcus, right of reply, is that true?
A bit surprised by that, thanks, Mum.
Now, look, you did kick a fantastic goal this year against Melbourne. Just talk us through that. Have you got goal of the year sewn up?
No, I'm not too sure, really. In the moment, I think most of it was just based on instinct, really. A lot of what you see comes out, I think, from a lot of players is just natural, and I think in that moment it was pretty much that. My head was just spinning and it sailed through. So,
was it after that moment, after that goal, after that game, we had the special moment with your dad hugging on the boundary line?
I think it might have been after our first win against Collingwood.
Yep.
And I'd played a couple of games by then and had just been longing for that bit of success and that feeling that everyone talks about, and I was so grateful I was able to do it at home and do it at Etihad with the support of all my family who've been there all along the way, so I was pretty grateful.
Carlo, pretty special moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. Oh, that time?
Yeah.
In front, yeah, it was. Yeah, you caught me on a bad time there, I would tell you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've turned a bit soft ever since he's been done. I tend to shed a lot of tears.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Marcus and Carlo Bontempelli. Thank you.
Welcome back to the NAB AFL Rising Star Award. Well, it's time now to meet the next group of nominees. Round 13 will long be remembered by Marcus Bontempelli. He kicked his first AFL goal, played in his maiden victory for the Western Bulldogs, and collected the round's NAB AFL Rising Star nomination.
Oh, well done there by Bontempelli. That was brilliant.
The classy youngster showed the style that had led to comparisons to Scott Pendlebury as he gathered 22 touches, laid 4 tackles and kicked a timely goal in front of 28,000 at Etihad Stadium. And the 4th selection in the 2013 NAB AFL draft was able to celebrate in style with his family and friends. Jack Billings started round 14 in scintillating form, booting 3 goals in the opening 20 minutes as St Kilda began strongly against West Coast. Billings' form hardly wavered, finishing the game with a club-high 25 disposals with 100% efficiency to be nominated for the NAB AFL Rising Star Award.
Very promising youngster, this fella.
Billings represented Vic Metro as both a 16 and 17-year-old at the NAB AFL Under-18 Championships. Consistency has been a hallmark of the performance of Sydney youngster Harry Cunningham in 2014. After playing just 1 game in 2013, the promoted rookie had a solid month leading up to his nomination in round 15.
Cunningham aims from 48 and nails it.
The 20-year-old speedster from Wagga kicked 4 goals in round 12, had 16 disposals in round 13 and another 17 in Sydney's round 15 victory over crosstown rivals GWS.
Here we go! Menzel! Goal!
Carlton's season was full of ups and downs, but the Blues' round 16 clash with St Kilda not only produced an 85-point victory, but a NAB AFL Rising Star nomination for youngster Troy Menzel. The number 11 pick in the 2012 NAB AFL draft was nominated for his 2-goal, 8-mark performance where he displayed his poise and class. It's not hard to see the progress that Brendan McCartney is making at the Whitten Oval, and Nathan Rovat is a prime example. The classy youngster took the round 17 NAB AFL Rising Star nomination for his 27 disposals, 5 marks and 1-goal performance in the Dogs' 28-point victory over Gold Coast in Cairns.
Oh, it's party time up north now for the Bullies.
Rovat was the Northern Knights' best and fairest, Vic Metro's MVP, and was selected an All-Australian in 2012.
Picked up beautifully by Rovat. How's that for a start, Western Bulldogs?
Another serious knee injury caused a sour end to Jonathan Patton's season. But before that, the big man was finally able to show his talent and potential.
The General from 60.
Patton was always destined to earn a NAB AFL Rising Star nomination. And it came after he hauled in 9 marks and kicked 2 goals in the Giants' 7-point loss to the Cats in round 18.
Patton in a good spot. Got it.
Got rid of him.
The football world is desperate for a change of fortune for the young man. Hopefully, the best is still to come.
My name is Anthony
Danny Danaher. Very fortunate to play with 2 clubs, South Melbourne Sydney Swans and the Essendon Football Club, and played a total of 232 games, about 116 with each. My youngest son Joe's playing at the Essendon Football Club, and he was taken a father-son in the 2012 draft.
My name's Donald McDonald. Played for the North Melbourne Football Club, and I played 155 games. The father of Luke McDonald.
So now North Melbourne off the boot here of McDonald with a beautiful kick.
The father-son rule, I think, to fans gives them a real sense of connection with past, with history, and I think that's what our game's all about.
He's had a good night, hasn't he?
Just fantastic for our family. You know, my wife was always a mad North Melbourne supporter, so she's suffered through watching me play some pretty ordinary football, and now hopefully she'll watch Luke play some pretty good football. As a bloke that played for North Melbourne, to think that your son could play for the same club, I think it's just fantastic. Fathers, you know, probably watched us play, could say to their sons, "Oh, look, I remembered when, you know, Anthony and Donald played, and you know, to see Joe and Luke come up." I mean, I think it just gives a bit more to the supporters of those individual clubs.
It's a booming torpedo. Oh, what a goal! Danaher again, shot for goal. He's home.
When Joe was up for father-son, obviously he had 2 choices. He had Sydney and Essendon, and it was a really prolonged process. But where the bees whisper of going to Sydney was a drive back from the farm one Christmas, and Joe said, we left the farm, it's a 7-hour drive. He said, by the time I get back to Melbourne, I'll tell you where I'm going to play. And so we got back to Melbourne, and sure enough, he said, it's the Bombers.
Player 213870, Joe Danaher, Calder Cannons and Aberfeldy Football Club.
You know, as a parent, you're just thrilled that they're able to follow their dream, and it always is to run onto the MCG or Windy Hill or Geelong and play that first game, and you're just proud as a parent that they've achieved that goal. We're very fortunate to go back to Western because of the history and the connection.
Going back, Danaher, that is a spectacular mark.
I think a lot of people look at Joe and probably see a bit of Terry and a bit of Chris and maybe a bit of Neil and a bit of his father. So I think that's how we judge.
Beautiful kick by Danaher. That's a goal.
They just play. Danaher finishes up with the footy, runs, then kicks the goal.
I just hope he gets a great platform to build the rest of his life on. I mean, it sounds a little bit corny, but I just think that for me, people you meet, they're with you for the rest of your life. Good times, bad times, you know, they're there, and you just learn how to be resilient. And I just think that's something that carries you through your life.
What we'd like to see with Joe with his career is that he achieves the goals that he set. It's not about us, it's about him, and as long as he can look back and say, well, I had a real crack and had a good run, that's all you can ask for.
Going back and run. Oh!
He's done it again. Danaher.
There's a lot of the future about that, isn't it? It's what they've got to look forward to.
There you have it. 2 proud fathers and 2 proud sons making their way in the inroads of the AFL. Firstly, Luke, it's great to see Dad up there strutting his stuff, the 60-metre torpedo.
Yeah, I think he asked for that one to be in the highlight package, so yeah, he was a good goal. He showed me that a few times.
Now, you rested last week, your first final in your first year, big game coming up.
Yeah, obviously feeling very fresh. Saturday night against the Bombers, big crowd against Joey's mob. Can't wait to get out there, so very exciting.
Now, Joe, 20 games this year, your first final as well, no Carlisle. The big stage for yourself, you're looking forward to it, MCG?
Yeah, really excited. Unfortunately, Jager won't be there, but we've got a few options up our sleeve to slip forward, and really excited for the opportunity this weekend.
I want to give you a scenario before we throw to Hutto. Lukey puts himself in the hole, ball comes in. Do you need him in the back, take mark of the year? What happens next? You tell me.
I won't be looking at the ball, straight to Lukey, I think.
Well done. Back to you, Hutto.
Thank you, Ben. Can't wait for the weekend. It's going to be a fantastic weekend of finals, that's for sure. Well, there'll be plenty of excitement and tension in the finals, but so there is today as we continue to reveal the votes of more of our judges. We've got 3 more judges now with their 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1s. The CEO of the AFL, Gillon McLachlan, the AFL Hall of Fame legend, Kevin Bartlett, and ex-Tiger superstar and AFL Hall of Fame member, Matthew Richardson. And as you can see from Gillon, it's Lewis Taylor, Taylor with the 5, followed by Marcus Bontempelli with 4, Luke McDonald, James Aish and Harry Cunningham from the Sydney Swans. Kevin Bartlett's gone for Luke McDonald from North Melbourne with his 5, then Taylor with 4, Bontempelli with 3, Aish with 2, and St Kilda's Luke Dunstan with 1, and Matthew Richardson has given 5 votes to Taylor, 4 to Bontempelli, 3 to McDonald, 2 to Aish and 1 to Kelly. So, here we are. Lewis Taylor is on top with 30 votes, followed by Marcus Bontempelli, Luke McDonald on 26 votes, 3 behind Marcus, and then James Aish in 4th place on 19 votes. Still 2 judges' votes to come. It's going to be tight. Back to you, Brad.
Well, it's getting exciting, Hutto. And speaking of exciting, I'm with 2 champions, young champions from the Gold Coast Suns, Jager O'Meara and Kade Kolodjashnij. And Kade, I'll start with you. How have you found the transition from Tasmania to the Gold Coast? Average 6.1 degrees in Tassie to an average 26.1 on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot warmer up on the Gold Coast. Yeah, loving up there. It's a great club, great culture there. Yeah, great place to live as well. Yeah, a lot of girls there as well, which is handy. But,
do you get down to the beach? Do you do the recovery in the speedos down the beach to strut your stuff?
Yeah, I actually live 200 metres away from the beach, so I like getting down the beach and doing a bit of extra recovery every now and then.
What about the turning point for yourself then? I'm sure it was the move to the Gold Coast going on the last answer, but apart from that, as a youngster growing up, you played a lot of soccer and basketball. What was the turning point when you decided, nah, AFL's for me?
Well, actually, one of my mates in primary school got me over to football. One of my best mates back then. A lot of my friends played football, so yeah, I used to love playing basketball and soccer, but made that transition to footy and loved it since and haven't looked back.
Jager, we speak of the young players in the competition, but what impressed you the first time you trained with Kade? What was the one thing that stood out for you?
I guess the first time I met Kade and trained with him was after our training camp in Arizona. So we'd just been away for 2.5 weeks, and we were all feeling really fit and firing to go for our pre-season campaign. And I think Kade beat me and a fair few. I think he came second in our 2K time trial. So it just showed that he was an elite runner. And then when we got into our skills work, it also showed that he was an elite ball user as well.
We just had a fantastic speech from Brownie and Vossi. What do you take away from that initially?
Yeah, initially I feel like everything that they said rings true, and it's great to hear about their story. And obviously they were great players, and it's great to listen to them. But I think the main thing I took away from that was just the turning point, and they've both had their turning points in their careers, and I'm probably trying to find out which one is mine at the moment. So hopefully I'll find out that soon.
Kade, you always have a mentor program within the club. You've got the black eye there. The mentor didn't get stuck into you on Mad Monday, did he?
Nah, that's on the weekend. So yeah, it was all good to Monday. It was a good day Monday. But yeah, there's a couple of mentors at the club that really looked after me. Yeah, a couple of good leaders down back helped me out, Stephen May, Jared Harbauer. So, yeah, there's a good bunch of leaders at our club.
Well, hopefully you don't get too nervous. I know Bonts was nervous when Dicko spoke to his mum, Geraldine, a little bit earlier on. It's time now to catch up with Dicko. He's got your mum.
Thanks, Johnny. Sharon, firstly, draft day is an exciting time because the boys get drafted, but it's nervous for the parents. What was it like losing 2 boys to the draft?
It was emotionally challenging. I'll put it that way, yeah.
So with the boys, Kay, we just noticed that he loves the girls. Has he introduced you to a lovely young lady, either from Gold Coast? What's happened with that?
Oh, I think he's keen on one, but she's from Tassie.
Oh, okay. So he's ruled her out. That's great. And we know Jake's down in Geelong. Kade, Gold Coast, winner, sport, we know. Does Kade get more love because the weather's better in Gold Coast?
I think that's the way it goes, yes.
Is Jake he's doing really well at Geelong? Yes. Is he getting homesick at any stage?
I think Jake was a bit homesick to start with, but now he's fine. So, yeah, it's good. All good.
How did you rate Kade's season?
Kade's season? Oh, it was better than expected, yeah.
So you lowered the bar for him. That's good, Sharon. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Jono.
Thank you. Do you miss your brother at all? You're very, very close, of course.
Yeah, it was pretty close growing up. Yeah, at times it is challenging. Not being able to see brother every day. Like last year, we was hanging around with each other a lot, but yeah, we're both on our own ways now, and he's going well at Geelong, so I'm really happy for him.
Is it true that he actually went to the Gold Coast induction because he just naturally got in the car with you when you first got drafted?
Yeah, it was pretty awkward actually. He came down to Metricon Stadium with us and looked through the facilities. with his polo top on, with his Geelong polo top on. So yeah, no, it was good.
It's good that you stay close. Jager, just to finish up, Gold Coast, great improvement this year. What did Guy McKenna say after that final game in terms of what you need to do to improve over the summer and then into next season?
Yeah, I think the main thing we took away from it was just a disappointing end to the year. I think we were sitting at 7-2 in the first 9 rounds, and we laid down the foundations and thought we had a really good chance to play finals footy. And a few things didn't go our way throughout the second half of the year, but we were really disappointed with the way we played and finished off the year. So hopefully next year we can improve and not have those inconsistencies that we have had this year.
Well, boys, all the best in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Jager and Kade Kolodjashnij.
Well, hopefully Kade's career can be just as successful as Jager's has been so far. Well, after the break, we're going to meet a young man whose career was nearly cut short by injury, and then we count down to the 2014 NAB AFL Rising Star. Welcome back to the 2014 NAB AFL Rising Star Award, and we're getting closer to discovering who this year's winner will be. But right now, let's meet our final group of nominees.
Brisbane's round 19 victory over Melbourne might not be remembered as an all-time classic, but Lions youngster Darcy Gardner certainly won't forget it. The 18-year-old played a big part in the come-from-behind victory, taking 12 marks and managing a disposal efficiency of 94% to take out the NAB AFL Rising Star nomination.
And he's pretty happy. He's got his first goal.
Jake Stringer well and truly crashed Lenny Hayes' tribute party in round 20, booting 4 goals in the Western Bulldogs' 23-point win over St Kilda.
Chance for Stringer. Split the indifference. That was amazing.
Stringer was taken by the Bulldogs at pick 5 in the 2012 NAB AFL draft, despite missing the entire 2011 TAC season with a broken leg.
What a start by the Doggies!
Stringer became the 3rd Bulldog nominated for the award this year. Sydney has an uncanny knack of finding gold in the rookie draft. Their latest find, Jake Lloyd, who took the round 21 NAB AFL Rising Star nomination after a 21 disposal 10-mark game against St Kilda.
And this young man's been really impressive.
And Lloyd himself has an uncanny ability of being in the right place at the right time. He played in 4 senior premierships in the Wimmera Football League and is now a regular for the Swans as they chase another AFL premiership.
Fantastic second effort, Taberner.
Breaking into a Ross Lyon-led team is hard enough, but getting praise from the Fremantle coach is another thing entirely. But that's exactly what 21-year-old Matt Taberner did in round 22 with his performance against Brisbane at the Gabba. The tall, athletic forward had 22 disposals and kicked a goal to be nominated for the NAB AFL Rising Star, with the coach singling him out as an outstanding running machine.
Opens up for Taberner.
Taberner was Freo's first selection in the 2012 rookie draft after playing for the Murray Bushrangers and Myrtleford. Jack Martin's season couldn't have started any worse, but it couldn't have finished any better. Goes deep, Jack Martin.
Beautiful grab, huge grab from the young man.
The highly rated Martin dislocated his shoulder in round 1. His gradual improvement, though, on return culminated in the final NAB AFL Rising Star nomination of the year, as he booted 4 goals from 19 disposals despite a 52-point loss. Martin displayed the exquisite talent that saw the Suns identify him as one of the elite 17-year-olds in 2012.
We're going to see a lot of this in the next 10 to 12 years.
4 goals for Jack Martin.
Jake Stringer's had an outstanding second year for the Western Bulldogs and should be a star at the club for many years to come. But it hasn't all been plain sailing for Jake. Back in 2011, he broke his leg badly, ended his season, and could have easily ended his football career. All right, Jake, this is the incident, mate, where you broke your leg.
Just playing centre half back, and yeah, took a mark, went to play on and kick the ball, and little Jakey Need come across and tackled me and snapped both bones in my leg.
So it was just off the back of a tackle, wasn't it?
Yep, still makes me feel sick.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it tough to watch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it like that.
Yeah.
It really brings a tear to my eye.
Can you remember what's going through your mind then?
More just the pain that sort of shot straight through my body. It was, never felt anything like it before. It's not every day you look down and you see your legs sticking out.
You see different players react differently to severe injuries. What was it like for yourself? Was it more shock? Was there instant pain?
It was instant pain straight away, but as a young kid you didn't think it was that bad, so I sort of bounced back up, and then I was sort of remember my leg being a little bit wonky, and I remember looking down and I seen the bone shoot through the skin. My old man sort of walked up and he must have had a look at the fracture, and he went green, and that's when I knew it was pretty bad. They put a rod through me left tib and fib and screwed it all together, and then the long 12 months sort of began then.
I need to be
Do you think that your career might have been in jeopardy in some ways, being the young talent that you were?
Yeah, I suppose you do. You know, you have that 1 year to get drafted, so yeah, it was a little bit scary, and I wasn't sure what would happen or how I'd respond or how I'd recover, or whether I was having surgery or whether I was getting plaster. I had no idea, so yeah, it was pretty scary there for a bit.
What kind of support, Jake, did you get from the football world, if any, after the significant injury?
Michael Barlow from Fremantle, he rang me, and he probably rang me 3 or 4 times over about 2 or 3 month period, just checking up on how I'm going, and that was huge for me. Jed Adcock sent down some cream and stuff to put on my leg. I think Joel Selwood sent me a message and rang me to see if I was all right, so the support I got was absolutely phenomenal.
What was the most trying time that you went through?
Mum and Dad used to wake me up about 7:30, 7 o'clock and make me walk around the Kennington Res. One of the first few times I broke down crying halfway around the Kennington Res because they were walking off on me and I was going flat stick. And
so it wasn't because of the pain?
Nah, I just couldn't keep up. Yeah, like my legs just weren't moving right.
in and out, out.
So you get through a fair bit, you're back playing footy. When did you know that, you know, I'm back, I'm nearly back at that level where clubs maybe start looking at me again to be drafted?
It was actually my second VFL game. I knew there was going to be a lot of people watching to see how, because I was such a big body, you know, able to move kids around and all that type of stuff, but then it was interesting to see whether I could do that against men in the VFL.
Selection 5, Western Bulldogs.
Jake Stringer, Bendigo Pioneers, Eagle Hawk Football Club.
Yeah, I was stoked. I mean, I was obviously go pick 5 to the Western Bulldogs was awesome, and you know, I've got hopefully another 10 years to thank them for it.
Stringer, can he get clear? Shrugs 1, shrugs 2. What a start by the Doggies!
Chance for Stringer. Split the indifference. That was amazing. Wilt missed him. Stringer continues to run and kicks the goal. Stringer, he's hard to tackle, this guy. Oh, he's kicked another one.
How has the break changed your outlook on life?
Come in every day, no matter how I'm feeling, what I'm feeling like. It's just the little things that make good careers last longer.
Stringer comes dashing through, snaps at goal and puts it through.
Well, hasn't he finished the season off so well? And we wish Jake all the best. In fact, let's give a round of applause for all our nominees today. They've done a fantastic job in season 2014. Well, I'd like to invite Gillon McLaughlin, the AFL CEO, Andrew Thorburn from NAB, and Jager O'Meara, last year's winner of the 2013 NAB AFL Rising Star Award and a NAB Ambassador, to return to the stage as we get ready to count down the final votes. Well, we're getting closer, as we said. We have 2 judges to reveal, but before we go any further, let's recap the leaderboard. It is extremely tight at the top, as we said, just 1 vote. Lewis Taylor from the Brisbane Lions leads from Marcus Bontempelli, 30 and 29 votes, and then Luke McDonald could certainly still win on 26, and James Aish in 4th place. Nervous times for the two boys on top of the leaderboard. We can now reveal the votes from the AFL National Talent Manager, Kevin Sheehan. Beginning with his first vote, Kade Kolodjashnij, 2 votes to Tom Langdon of Collingwood, and 3 votes to Luke McDonald. All right, the 4th and 5th votes. 4 votes to Lewis Taylor of the Brisbane Lions, and 5 votes to Marcus Bontempelli from the Western Bulldogs. Let's check the leaderboard with 1 judge to go. On top, Lewis Taylor and Marcus Bontempelli tied on 34 votes. Well, the final votes come from former St Kilda skipper and Fox Footy commentator Danny Frawley. So let's start with Danny's first vote, Harry Cunningham from the Sydney Swans. Again, 2 votes to Kade Kolodjashnij of the Gold Coast Suns, and 3 votes to Luke McDonald from North Melbourne. It's time to reveal the final votes and then hand over to Gillen to announce the winner.
I declare Lewis Taylor of the Brisbane Lions, the 2014 NAB Rising Star.
Well, mate, congratulations. It must seem for you a long way from even recently in your under 18 years, working on the farm as in your under 18 years. Tell us about that and about your dreams of playing AFL footy.
Yeah, so I worked on a farm just outside Terang for the Lees and Cravens. So they had dairy farms and trained a few horses and that. So I didn't complete year 12 and I went out and worked there, which I'm very, very thankful for. So if they see this, I probably wouldn't be up here if it wasn't for them as well. So yeah, they gave me a job and kept me busy through the weeks and stuff, and I'm very thankful for that.
And you had a long way to travel to go and play for the Falcons as well?
Yeah, that's right. I had a good mate, Nick Burke, who lives in Nurrit, which is 10 minutes from Mortlake, if anyone knows what that is. And yeah, we travelled up every Tuesday and Thursday, which was a 2-hour drive, which was obviously worth it now. He's at Geelong on a rookie list, so it was definitely worth it.
How hard was that, though, to do all that travel? I mean, obviously you had that dream still burning.
Yeah, obviously it was obviously travel was long and that sort of thing. You did get tired, but I was, again, for the Lees and Cravens would let me off early and that sort of thing, which I'm thankful for, as I've said. So yeah, it was good.
And family life hasn't always been easy for you. You've had a fair bit of travelling around, but you've held faith to your dream.
Yeah, I have. It was tough, but the way I look at it is there's people going through a lot worse than me, so there's no point me sooking about it or anything like that. And I've got the dad and brother over there today, which is good to see them. So I've obviously got Dad to thank and the brother. Dad's been absolutely fantastic for me and my brother, so I can't thank him enough for what he's done.
Now, you went to the national draft last year. Obviously, you were invited by the AFL, so which usually means you're going to be a reasonably early pick. You slipped through to 28. How are you starting to feel as other names were being called out?
It was actually pretty scary at the time. I didn't know really what to think. I didn't really go up there expecting anything. So to finally hear my name called out 28 from Brisbane was a very proud moment for me and my family. So.
And how did you find it? I mean, you were injured, which obviously made life a little bit difficult. Did that make it tough to start with for you?
Yeah, it was pretty tough just not being able to be out on the track with the boys at the start. So I was sidelined there for a while, doing a lot of bike sessions and boxing sessions and stuff. So and then to finally get out on the track with the boys was good, and get a bit of fitness under the belt.
Well, not only did you get a bit of fitness under the belt, but you managed to force your way into the team despite missing most of the pre-season, and you've played every game this year, averaged 17 disposals, kicked 12 goals. That's an incredible effort.
Yeah, I suppose I've got to thank Leper and the coach and staff for that. I mean, look, I worked really hard in the off-season and that sort of thing, so I'd like to think I did earn my spot there, and I'm obviously thankful for the coaches and stuff for picking me and whatnot.
And you've worked a terrific bond with Dane Zorko and Josh Green, the Mosquito fleet.
Yeah, definitely. They took me under their wing, which was great, and really showed me the ropes and that sort of thing. So very thankful to them, and they've showed me the on-field stuff to get right, and obviously the off-field as well, which is a big part of it. So yeah, they've been great.
And tell us then about the year. How's it been for you? How have you enjoyed playing AFL football, being coached by Justin Lepage?
Yeah, look, I've really enjoyed my year, loved it, to tell you the truth. I was happy to sign on another year, which was great. So, Lepper and all the coaching staff and that sort of thing have been really fantastic, really supportive, and I can't thank them enough for the help they've given me out the year.
Who are some of the players that have been especially helpful to you?
Yeah, well, as you said, I've got Zorks and Greenie, which have been great. So,
any sort of competition or rivalry between you?
We do stir a bit of. I don't know the word. I can't say that word.
You can. We're amongst friends.
Stir a bit of stuff up at the club, but they've been really good. And obviously, you've got your Rockcliffs and Adcocks and that sort of thing, which are great leaders and really show you the ropes. So it's good.
How have you been today? You've been nervous, mate?
Tell you, I wasn't too nervous until about 2 minutes ago, sitting over there, but I didn't prepare a speech for anything, so I thought I was under the pump. But it was all right.
Well, you've done a fantastic job. I'm sure you've got some people you would like to thank, so I'll let you do that. Yeah. But congratulations, well done.
Thanks very much.
Terrific.
Firstly, as I said, just to the Lees and Cravens, I can't thank you enough for what you did, giving me the work and obviously letting me stay at your home and really involve me with your family and that sort of thing. Very thankful. To Eddie and Lou Holsworth, thanks for a lot of help you've given me over the years. The Irwins, the Geelong Falcons, Mick Turner, Andy Althorpe played a massive part in obviously getting to where I am today, so I'm very thankful for that. Who else have we got? I'll say Nan and Pa. Nan and Pa, they've been fantastic. They just live down the road from us, so all the lifts that Pa and Nan give me to trainings, all those nights, come pick me up, was fantastic, and I can't thank them enough either. To the Lions this year, everyone involved, all the coaches and staff and that sort of thing, has been fantastic. Also the players, the boys, they've really made us feel welcome. And everything like that. All the first years would agree with that, so they've been great. To Dad, I can't thank you enough for what you've done over the years. You've been really good and really supportive. To Tobes, it's good to have a younger brother, and that's to sort of get through those tough times, but it's you've been handy as well, so thanks very much. Geez, I don't know, I wish I wrote some people down. I think that might be it, but if I've missed anyone, I am sorry. So yeah, thanks very much.
Congratulations, everyone. A round of applause for our winner, Lewis Taylor. Stay for some photos. And as we do that, we should congratulate once again all our nominees and those, especially Marcus Bontempelli, who was so superb in finishing second. So well done, Marcus. Let's check the board. As we said, Lewis Taylor is our winner, our most thrilling count in memory. Second, Marcus Bontempelli. He'll go on and be a superb player for the Western Bulldogs, there's no doubt about that. Luke McDonald, a terrific year for North Melbourne. We wish him all the best in the finals. Well done, Luke. To James Aish of the Brisbane Lions, fourth in 19 votes. Kade Kolodjashnij with 7. Luke Dunstan and Tom Langdon, both excellent years, young men who will certainly make an impression in our competition. Harry Cunningham also about to enter the final series, and who knows, could be a premiership player in a month. Then Jarman Impey and Josh Kelly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been fantastic to have you with us here in the room. It's certainly been an exciting count. Once again, congratulations to Lewis Taylor. He's the 2014 NAB AFL Rising Star winner.